I think a lot of people in entertainment are just putting their heads in the sand right now and trying to ignore what's going on. It's undeniable that there's been a lot of change in 2024. There's been countless DEI failures. Concord, Acolyte, Outlaws, and a couple of others. But Concord definitely takes the crown for biggest DEI failure, probably ever. Because, I mean, you're talking about a $200 million failure right here. At least that's what's being alleged, 200. 100 million for sure, but I don't think 200 million is out of the question for this game's total price tag. It's a possibility, and it's probably true, but I can't confirm that that's how much it lost. But game was in development for 8 years. That's a long time. I'm just saying. And it's not like this is a PS4 game. This was a exclusive to PS5 game and Steam. It's a current gen game. So I'm sure it costs a lot of money. They put a lot of money in the marketing too. It's in that Amazon show. It's also got those really nice CGI trailers that probably cost a lot of money to make. So I think 200 million I think it's probably the right number, but anyway. So apparently, the former owner of Concord, being Probably Monsters, that's the studio that owned FireWalk before Sony bought them. Apparently, he's not bothered about the DEI stuff. He doesn't think that has anything to do with this game's failure. No problem there. It's everything else, all the other factors. The way that the characters look and how ugly most of them are, that has nothing to do with it. That is not a reason that this game failed. Having like an old woman as one of the characters, I completely forgot about this one. It has nothing to do with it. No, everybody wants to play as a grandmother in a hero shooter. Absolutely, yeah. I'm sure this is a top pick for a lot of people. Or a character that's so overweight that he has to pull his pants over his belly. All heroes shop at Big and Tall, 100%. That is definitely something that resonates with a lot of people when they think about heroics and superheroes and all that stuff. Definitely the pants over the belly, because they're conserving all of their energy for that 10 seconds where they actually just run and push. Everything else, they got to sit in the chair. So this is putting your head in the sand, and it's just funny how they're all ignoring the truth that these characters are so damn ugly and unappealing that it didn't help this game sell. And we learned from this woman who works at FireWalk Studios, or did, I don't know what's going on over there right now, admitted that these characters were all designed by committee and that nobody really had any say. They didn't have any say. The Concord designs were designed by committee. Now, I don't think these aren't all of the tweets. I've done a video on that. Here they go. Here's some of them. Yeah, they were designed by committee. So they were all in there going through the DEI woke points. Oh, well, we should have it look like this for representation. Oh, well, we should have this old lady. Let's get a big and tall superhero. So this was a mistake. And, you know, if you change the characters, I wonder if you had made them all waifus, would we be talking about this game shutting down like it did? I don't think we would be. We would be. But here's what this guy is saying. So apparently, thanks to a source close to Probably Monsters that contacted that Park Place, the studio has been shaken to its core to not only the game's failure, but to the extent that it failed. And that's probably good, because I'm sure they have other games in the pipeline, and they're probably just as bad looking as Concord. And for these reasons, I think this. So while the company and its employees have been shaken by the failure, one thing that is not shaking them and that they are not even acknowledging is the game's embrace of woke ideology and diversity, equity, and inclusivity. Interestingly, this source also informed that Park Place that the company did indeed have discussions beforehand about how heavy it would embrace woke ideology. As shown in the game's final product, it does not appear that dissenting voices were able to bring any reason to those wanting to insert the woke ideology, and now it appears executives want to bury their heads in the sand. If what this source relays is true, other projects coming out of probably Monsters incubation, as well as their Battle Barge and Hidden Glove studios, are most definitely at risk of being infected by woke ideology and leading to similar disasters such as Concord. This really does make me wonder how many games they have in development right now and what are those games. I'm going to guess live service shooters are probably things that they are trying to embrace, because FireWalk Studios was working on this before Sony took that studio over. So I went over to their website, and there's not really a lot on here. They talk about making AAA games and hiring people. Here's their leadership. I want to talk about diversity, but they really don't have much on their leadership page here. It's kind of interesting. You think that they would be embracing that at all levels of the company. They are the virtuous of the virtue. Nothing really about what they're working on. So here's Battle Barge. Here's the team. Boy, they look like a fun bunch of people to hang out with at a party. We can head back over to the other one. Here's Hidden Grove. Not a lot going on over there either. They just have the people. I'd like to know what they're working on. They don't have anything that they're really working on or anything previous. Just go over the team and their philosophies. That's it. I wonder, what do they have going on behind the scenes? I would love to see what they're working on and if it follows what Concord was doing. I bet you it is. I bet you that there's a lot of DEI in their games. Big time. If Concord is a good example of it, I bet you the character design started by committee, and they started over at the probably Monsters committee, because I'm sure that they had to sign off on this. So I am curious to what comes out from these studios. I bet you're gonna see more disasters come from probably Monsters. Probably shit is what they should change their company name to. Ironically, this head-in-the-sand style of management exactly how the FireWalk Studios team operated following intense negative feedback from gamers after the game was showcased during a PlayStation State of Play. That's true. I remember watching that. I don't know whose stream I was watching. I don't remember. But I was watching somebody stream it and talk about it as it's going on. And I remember the chat when that happened. Thousands of people watching. And when that game came up, everybody was laughing at it, calling it DEI the game, calling it woke nonsense. Like, everybody was mocking it. And you saw it on social media in general. And they just put their head in the sand. They didn't say anything. You know, they had time to make changes. You could have made little tweaks to those characters that would have made that game look much better. Changing the colors, for one, that would have helped. Some of the colors on the characters are just awful. I think if you could have had a few characters that looked really good, that would have helped. But they just showcased like all the fat old ones. They knew what they were doing. They thought that shit was going to make them a lot of money. And this tells me that was in the that's really what's in the philosophy of the studios over at probably Monsters. And I think all of their games are going to be like this shit. They thought they were going to pump out DEI masterpieces, and that's not what happened. So, we'll see what happens. I think this is going to be a big disaster for Sony, and I'm guessing they're all going to work for Sony. Maybe they won't maybe Sony will wise up Something tells me they won't, considering that PlayStation Pro. They think they're invincible again. And what's the old saying? Pride comes before the fall. Oh, so PlayStation, they're flying pretty close to the sun lately, man. That PlayStation Pro, such a joke. I can't believe that they thought that was going to go over well. Just like Concord. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Let me know what you guys think about all of this. I'd like to hear from you. Also, if you would, please like, subscribe, share the video. Make sure you're still subscribed. Hit that notification bell, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace.